for, and then we'll talk about the meeting. In evaluating the evaluators, we have a structure here that we follow, where we talk about the things that we think went well, then we give some suggestions for improvement, and we try to finish off the evaluation with a compliment or an encouragement for the speaker to go forward. And I think all of our evaluators followed that structure really well. Very clearly, in fact, but in their own way, so you can really see the personality of the person coming through in that structure. Kay, you did some good improvements, and it was very appropriate for an icebreaker speech. Gave Vishali a few things to work on, but not too many, not overwhelmed her. John, your evaluations, as always, there's something very poetic about them. You clearly are composing using really nice language when you do your evaluation. And you also gave some very specific and good improvement areas for David. And George, I thought your your evaluation was excellent as well. You gave very specific areas for improvement, and now that there's a few minutes to write up this evaluation, you can be even more specific, all of you, when you give the feedback. One of the things that I did when I first came here is I never actually read my evaluations. I really, as an extrovert, I wanted to talk to the evaluator and get all their feedback verbally. I would encourage you those who speak, to read what the evaluator writes down, because sometimes there's even more detail there as well. So overall, I think that went very, very well. With regard to the meeting, I was reminded today of why I love Toastmasters. I like this structure. I like the way we kind of march through this agenda. The theme was introduced by our truly ebullient Toastmaster, Vaughn. I love the way it was introduced. I love the paint samples. You've done a little work beforehand. The warm-up intros was excellent. There was a mix-up on the agenda. I'm not sure how Ken felt about it, but from my perspective in the audience, it was handled smoothly and gracefully. I hope you didn't feel rejected, but like you always have to.
I'll just go home and fill up on caffeine. I'll get over it.
I do think we could have had better introductions to the speeches, and that is not actually Vaughn's or the Toastmasters' responsibility. That's the speaker's responsibility. So I would encourage you to write at least 4 sentences introducing your speech. You need to put in the time, the purpose, the objective of the speech. What are you practicing? What are we as an audience supposed to be listening for, so that we can fill out those little pieces of paper and give you feedback about whether you accomplished your goal or not. So tell us, what's the purpose of the speech? And I would also encourage you to give that to the Toastmaster, not on Saturday morning, but on Thursday night at the latest. Email it to them and put it into the Speakeasy tool online if you can. It's really a panicky feeling when it's Friday night and you're trying to enjoy your Friday night and you're Toastmaster tomorrow and you don't have any introductions. That's all of our responsibilities. So I would encourage you to do that. Ken, table topics. Loved it. Loved the very simple but effective visual aid, and the questions were excellent. Actually the table topic speakers were really articulate, and I think it's the mark of good questions, is when people can respond and relate it to something right away. So from my perspective, the meeting went very well today, according to all of the Toastmaster structure. I would like to ask for the grammarian's report now.
Okay.